Hey everybody, welcome to Tubo's Av channel. If you're watching this video, then you've probably purchased a Kawasaki Ninja 400 tail tidy off of the website. I want to tell you thank you. I appreciate your business. Now let's get started. This particular model will work anywhere from 2018 all the way up to 2023. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and take off the rear passenger seat. I'm gonna put my, I've already prepped it, so I've already prepped the seat for you guys, okay? That's what you're gonna be looking at there. Now, what I like to do, I like to take this little cover off. And the reason why I wanna take this cover off is because you're gonna have a little bit easier access to your turn signals, because your turn signals are gonna be right underneath this black sleeve, all right? So you're going to go ahead and first thing we're going to do, let me put on my headset. Hang on one second so I can work at the same time as talking. So let's go ahead and grab some needle nose pliers. Okay, and let's go ahead and grab our screwdriver. So first things first, you're going to go ahead and pull these little clips here. So pull the clip, just pull it out. There's one. And then you're gonna pull the second one on the other side. Pull it out. There's two. Okay. Now, this one you can take out easily. This one you can take out. So what I like to do is I like to put the clip in so that way you don't lose it. All right. Now the second one, what you're gonna have to do in order to get it out is you're gonna have to unscrew one of these little bolts here. Oops, I'm sorry. Oh boy. Of course, I'm gonna need a different screwdriver here. I'll be right back. Okay, now that I am back, we're going to loosen this up, take this screw out. Actually, don't take it all the way out, just loosen it up. Do the same thing with the other side. Okay. Now what this is going to allow you to do is this is going to allow you to lift this piece up a little bit. As you can see, you can lift it up, and that will allow you to take this little clip out. Oh, I need to do it a little bit more. If you have to, take it all the way out. It's no big deal. But you should be able to just loosen it up. There you go. Let me grab my needle nose so I don't drop it. Grab it and just pull it out. There we go. Now you have easy access to the turn signals. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that down. Remember, put this little clip through so you don't lose it. All right, now let's go ahead and unplug the turn signals. So what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to pull these wires up. Okay, so pull these wires up. Pull back this little sleeve here. And first thing you're gonna do is grab the gray wire, push down right here, and then pull. Let's see here. This is a little difficult this way. Let me try if I can do it this way. All right. So you're gonna wanna, all right, bear with me here. So on the license plate light, it's black. Just push down here and then pull back. Here's the license plate light. And then the turn signal. It's a little difficult. You got to push down really hard right here. Hang on one second, guys. Okay guys, so let's get back to the turn signals. As if you can see here, you're gonna put this, I'm gonna use an X-Acto knife, but if you have a small screwdriver or something small like a flathead, stick it in there and then just barely lift up. And then by lifting up right here, it's gonna allow you to pull it out, just like that. Now, let's do the same thing with the black connector, which is also the other turn signal. Stick it in there and lift up. There you go. Now you have your license plate light and both connectors done. So the next thing we're going to do in order to drop down the OEM tail tidy is we're going to take a 5mm Allen key. I have a long one here, and you're going to go ahead and there's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go ahead and break these loose. All right. So let's take all 4 of these out. We'll do the back 2 first. All right. Okay, now let's work on the rear. Now at this point, the tail tidy should be getting loose at this point. All right, now the last one. Grab the tail tidy, so grab it so it doesn't fall, and then go ahead and unscrew. So we're gonna go ahead and grab it, and we're gonna pull. Keep turning. Now it's loose. So go ahead and grab the bolt and go ahead and pull your wires down. This plug here, you might have to turn it a certain way to get it out of the hole. There we go. All right, there's your OEM tail tidy off of the bike. Okay, so now that the tail tidy is all dropped down, you're gonna grab your kit, your license plate, your tail tidy, and in the kit, you're gonna have 2 brackets. They both look like this, okay? If you notice, one is square, more square, and the other one is more rounded. The square part, you're gonna turn it like this. These are what they call PEM hardware. This is where your actual plate is going to mount to. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this up here like this. It has to go around this. You can see the way we designed it. So it's going to go around that. So let me go ahead and put a bolt through and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, now at this point in the kit is obviously going to be your tail tidy. When you get your tail tidy, you're going to notice that the screws are already in it with the nuts on the back. This is what they call a backer plate. And if you notice, these wires, which are your turn signals, they actually channel through right here on the backer plate. So you're going to have to take this off in order to put your state issued license plate onto the tail tidy. Just make sure that when you put your license plate on and you put the bolts through, to make sure that these wires channel through here, so that way when you mount it on the bike, everything's going to be hidden from a side view. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab both of your brackets. Take a good look at them. It's easy to make this mistake. If you notice, one of them is round and the other one is more square. Okay, see how it's round right here, and then this one's square. Well, the square part is going to go closest to the rear of the bike, so it mounts just like that, if you can see. See that? Let me show you here. So the square part goes there. So you're going to take your provided bolts. I'll show you the bolts. Hang on one second here. Let me put my headset back on. So you're going to take your provided bolts. You're going to get 4 of these long bolts. And what you're going to do, like I said, this is going to go towards the front here, this square. So you put the bolt through, just like that. Okay, the round part goes towards the back. So put your bolt through and then grab the provided nuts. It's a locking nut and a washer. Take your washer and put it over the bolt, and then take your nut, and you're not going to screw it down all the way. You're just going to take your nut and just go right over top. Just like that. Okay, can you guys see that? Just like that. You're going to do the same thing with the bottom one. Put your bolt through the hole, just like that. Take your washer and take your locking nut. So you're going to take your washer first, goes over top of the bolt, and then you're going to take your nut and you're going to just screw it on ever so slightly with just hand tight until it stops. It's a locking nut, so it's going to stop. Okay, so there's the first one. Now go ahead and grab the second one. Go grab both bolts. Now remember, the square goes in the front. Okay, so first put your bolt through, push it up in there, put your bolt through, grab your washer, go ahead and put your washer on top through the bolt, and then also just screw on the locking nut. All right, so you're just doing it loose at first, okay? That's all we're doing, is just doing it loose. Last one, grab the bolt, grab the washer and the locking nut. So you're gonna take your bolt, you're gonna stick it through, and you're gonna go on the inside, put your washer on, and then take your locking nut and then screw it on ever so slightly. Okay, so now you have all 4 bolts coming through with your washer and then your locking nut, and then it should look like this at the moment. They're loose because you didn't tighten them down yet. Okay, you have not tightened them down yet. So what you want to do now, because if you tighten these down, you're going to notice that it's very difficult, and you might not be able to do it. It's very difficult to put this through here. There's only so much room. If you tighten these down, it doesn't want to go in there. Okay, if you tighten them down, your license plate light doesn't want to go in there. So what I do at this point is I take all of my wires, both turn signals, and also your license plate light, and go ahead and push them up on through. So I would like to take the license plate light first. So take your license plate light and push it through, just like that. It's a little tricky, it only goes in one way. Okay, grab it up top, pull it up a little bit. Now, grab your right turn signal, push it in there, just like that. It doesn't have to be all tight. And then your left turn signal, push that up as well. Okay, so now that you have all of those on there and you got your tail tighty balancing on your tire here, now you can go ahead and tighten these down. Okay, I wouldn't tighten them completely all the way, and the reason why is because these 2 holes right here have to line up with those 2, 1 and 2, because this is what you're going to put on last, is your tail tighty. You're going to put your tail tighty on last, and it has to bolt right into here. So when you bolt these up, just keep it a little loose in case you have to turn it a little bit in order to bolt this up. I'll show you in a minute. Okay guys, now at this point, like I told you before, the squares go to the front and the round part goes towards the rear. Okay, so you're gonna just snug it up so that way in case you have to move these a little bit, you can. So what you want to do now is you want to grab your plate. Okay, go ahead and grab your plate. Go ahead and push your wires up in there. What you want to do is you want to line up these holes to the bottom of this, because remember, this is where you're going to screw your bolt through, right through here, and it's going to screw right up inside of these, what they call PEM hardware, right up in here, the PEM hardware. So you want to make sure it lines up before you snug it up. So go ahead and push it up. Go ahead and push it up there. And now, wait, make sure you don't pinch any of these wires. Make sure those wires go directly in the center. Okay. Sorry. Make sure you don't pinch any of those wires in there. And then this is, you see how this buttons up, just like that, how it kind of buttons up right from the side. So that way it looks like this. But before you do that, you want to make sure that these holes on the bottom line up properly before you snug up your brackets here. So make sure that the plate lines up on the bottom here before you snug these up. I'm going to go ahead and snug mine up because mine lines up properly, and then that's when we'll bolt up the license plate bracket last. Okay guys, now if you can see, it's not completely bolted up. These are tightened down because everything lined up correctly. As you can see, I have one bolt in already. You're going to get these smaller bolts in your kit, just like this, okay? And it's going to have a washer, so that way you can put the washer through and you're going to thread it through the bottom of that hole. All right, so I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done, but you can see by bolting it up, this is what it's looking like. You can see how that buttons up. Everything buttons up good. And make sure, I'm going to drop this down a little bit so you can kind of peek in there. Make sure you're not pinching your wires. Make sure they go directly up into the bike, okay? I'll show you what it looks like after I tighten them down. And by the way, guys, you don't have to tighten this down, you know, with all your force. It doesn't take a lot of torque to tighten these. There is a locking PEM hardware, so they will lock down for you, okay? Let me show you what it looks like when I'm all done. Okay guys, I saved this last little turn just to show you guys. Look, I'm not putting a lot of torque on it. You'll feel it kind of bottom out. So just kind of turn it and boom, it's done. It's snug. Just like that. Make sure this one's good to go. Yep, that's it. Those are locked in there. Let me show you what it looks like from behind. Just like that. This is what it looks like from a side view. All right, so the last thing we're gonna do, see how that buttons up there? Just like that. So the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna throw in your flasher relay. Let me go ahead and grab the flasher relay and then I'll show you where it goes. All right guys, let me put on my headset here so you guys can see this. Sorry. Hang on one second, let me put the headset on. All right, so now if you look down in here, if you look down in here on the rider side, driver side, you're gonna see this. You're gonna lift this up just like this. I could do this without having to take off the fairing. So you can see that it's on like a little lip right there. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna lift it up off of that. Reach your hand in there. Okay, you can see I just took it off. See? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull this flasher relay out. You're gonna pull that out, and then you're gonna replace it with the with the Two Wheels Ave flasher relay. It plugs directly right into there, and then you're gonna just put it right back on that little lip, okay? I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. Okay guys, so as you can see, let me shine some light in here for you. That right there is the flasher relay by Two Wheels Ave. It just goes right in the same exact spot. It's got a little rubber grommet on it, and you just slide it right down in the same exact spot as the factory spot. So now when you turn your lights on, it's gonna blink at a normal rate, and it's not gonna hyper flash for you. And that is the end of the install. If you guys have any questions, do me a favor, feel free to reach out to me. Call me on the business line. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together and turn it on, make sure everything's good to go.